Robert Redford, the legendary Oscar-winning actor, director, producer, and one of the most influential figures in American cinema, has passed away, leaving behind an extraordinary legacy that shaped Hollywood for over 6 decades. Redford's representative, Cindy Berger, confirmed the heartbreaking news, sharing that the beloved actor died peacefully on Tuesday morning at his home in Sundance, Utah, a place that had become synonymous with his name and his passion for nurturing independent storytelling. Berger revealed that Robert's final moments were spent surrounded by those he loved most, a detail that speaks volumes about the man behind the fame, someone who, despite being one of the most recognizable faces in the world, valued his family, his privacy, and his connection to nature above all else. The cause of his death has not yet been made public, and perhaps, knowing Redford's lifelong inclination to protect his personal life from the spotlight, it may never be. To understand the magnitude of this loss, one must look back at Robert Redford's remarkable journey, a journey that began far from the glamour of Hollywood and transformed him into one of the most respected artists of his generation. Born Charles Robert Redford Jr. in Santa Monica, California, on August 18, 1936, Redford grew up in a working-class family during the tail end of the Great Depression. His childhood was marked by both the beauty and hardships of post-war America. He was a bright but restless student, who later admitted he wasn't the most disciplined during his school years. After graduating from Van Nuys High School, where he was classmates with future baseball star Don Drysdale, Redford earned a scholarship to the University of Colorado, where he briefly studied art and played on the baseball team. But tragedy would alter the course of his life. The death of his mother when he was just 18 left a profound mark on him, one that shaped much of his sensitivity as an artist and his understanding of loss, grief, and the fragility of life. After leaving college, he traveled extensively across Europe, exploring art and culture, spending time in Paris and Florence, and soaking in the world outside America. He later enrolled at the American Academy of Dramatic Arts in New York City to pursue acting, and soon after, he began appearing in television shows like Maverick, Alfred Hitchcock Presents, and The Twilight Zone, honing his craft with every role. By the 1960s, Redford's career began to take off thanks to his good looks, undeniable charm, and serious talent. His breakout came with the Broadway production of Neil Simon's comedy Barefoot in the Park, where his performance caught the eye of Hollywood producers. The 1967 film adaptation cemented him as a bankable star, but it was 1969's Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, opposite Paul Newman, that made him an icon. Their chemistry was electric, the kind of on-screen partnership that comes once in a generation, and the film became a cultural phenomenon. Redford's portrayal of the outlaw Sundance Kid was the perfect mix of rugged coolness and boyish charm, embodying an anti-hero for a new era of cinema. This was only the beginning. Throughout the 1970s, Redford dominated the box office with a string of classics, including Jeremiah Johnson, The Way We Were, opposite Barbra Streisand, The Sting, which reunited him with Paul Newman and earned him an Academy Award nomination, 3 Days of the Condor, and All the President's Men, where he portrayed journalist Bob Woodward, immortalizing the Watergate scandal on screen. These roles weren't just performances, they were statements. Redford had a knack for choosing projects that spoke to the social consciousness of the times, films that were entertaining but also politically and culturally relevant. By 1980, Redford had reached a point in his career where he wanted to take control of the stories he told. He transitioned behind the camera and made his directorial debut with Ordinary People, a deeply emotional family drama exploring grief and healing. The film was a critical and commercial triumph, winning 4 Academy Awards, including Best Picture and Best Director for Redford. That moment solidified him not just as a movie star but as a visionary filmmaker who could deliver powerful, nuanced stories with depth and humanity. In 1981, Redford founded the Sundance Institute, a nonprofit organization created to support emerging independent filmmakers, giving them resources, mentorship, and a platform to tell their stories outside the confines of the Hollywood studio system. 3 years later, he took over the struggling Utah U.S. Film Festival, rebranding it as the Sundance Film Festival. What started as a modest gathering of independent filmmakers eventually became one of the most prestigious film festivals in the world, a place where careers were launched and groundbreaking films found audiences. Directors like Quentin Tarantino, Steven Soderbergh, and Darren Aronofsky owe a large part of their early careers to the Sundance platform, and countless indie films that may never have seen the light of day were given life because of Redford's vision. Despite the festival's success, Redford himself remained humble about its impact. In interviews, he sometimes admitted mixed feelings about how commercialized Sundance became over the decades. What began as a haven for small personal films eventually became a major Hollywood marketplace, something Redford worried might overshadow its original mission. Still, he never stopped fighting for the importance of independent voices in cinema, believing that storytelling could be a tool for change. Redford's acting career continued to flourish even as he directed and produced. He starred in Out of Africa alongside Meryl Streep, a sweeping romantic epic that won Best Picture at the Oscars, as well as The Natural, a sports drama that has become one of the most beloved baseball films ever made. His later works included Sneakers, Indecent Proposal, Up Close and Personal, and The Horse Whisperer, which he also directed. In the 2000s and 2010s, he appeared in Spy Game, All Is Lost, where he carried the entire film almost wordlessly as a man stranded at sea, and even joined the Marvel Cinematic Universe as Alexander Pierce in Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Throughout his career, Redford collected numerous accolades. In 2002, the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences honored him with an honorary Oscar for his contributions to film. And in 2016, President Barack Obama awarded him the Presidential Medal of Freedom, the nation's highest civilian honor, recognizing not just his work in entertainment, but also his environmental activism and philanthropy. Redford was also a devoted environmentalist and political activist, consistently using his platform to raise awareness about climate change, land preservation, and social justice issues. He supported progressive causes, advocated for Native American rights, and was passionate about preserving the natural beauty of Utah, which he called home. Sundance itself became not just a film hub, but a symbol of conservation, creativity, and community. On a personal level, Redford was known to be intensely private. He married historian Lola Van Wagenen in 1958, and they had 4 children together before divorcing in 1985. In 2009, he married his longtime partner Sibylle Zagars, a German painter with whom he shared his later years. The loss of his son Scott in infancy and later his son James in 2020 were among the most difficult moments of his life, and he often spoke about how those tragedies shaped his worldview and his art. The news of his death has sent shockwaves through Hollywood and beyond. Social media quickly flooded with tributes from fans, fellow actors, directors, and admirers who recognized not only his immense talent, but also his kindness, generosity, and enduring influence on the industry. Colin Farrell, appearing on The Today Show this morning, became visibly emotional as he reflected on Redford's passing, calling him one of the true giants of cinema and crediting him for inspiring countless actors, including himself. Other stars, from Barbra Streisand to Paul Newman's estate, shared heartfelt memories of working with him and praised his commitment to telling meaningful stories. Robert Redford's passing marks the end of an era of cinema where movie stars were larger than life, yet still carried themselves with authenticity and grace. He was the epitome of classic Hollywood, but he was also a pioneer who constantly pushed boundaries, both on screen and behind the scenes. His work will continue to inspire generations of filmmakers, actors, and audiences who believe in the power of storytelling.